in the WCS.
Oh yeah,
And
dominant
KangHo.
everywhere, honestly. Like, everybody's doing it now. And so Zergling's speed and then pulling off a couple drones from Gas. So KangHo wanting to focus mostly on economy, but needing to get that Zergling speed out early on. And in this modern age, you know, with the Widow Mines, with the Hellion aggression, it's really dangerous to not have speed fairly quick against Terran these days.
Dropping that CC at the natural, so Ryung bunkering up as well. Repping himself, looks like we will see some early Hellions, of course. Standard as standard can be.
Oh yeah.
And then we'll see what he goes for from there, whether he's liking some Hellbats, whether he's liking some bio. And there we go, the beginnings of the wall, the great wall of depots across the wide ramp at the natural.
Yeah, that's right. And interesting, just one Hellion coming out of the factory. So
Will be
he
Hellbats.
will be going into Hellbats with that. All right, so expect that starport to come down soon. So Ryung going for that Hellbat style. It's been very popular, obviously. Another thing that kind of everybody's been doing right now, and he is going to scout that drone as it goes down to take the fourth. And he's going to turn around to just confirm, it looks like. But yeah, everything just very standard right now. So the question is, you know, will KangHo be able to use some of those overlords that he has in position to get in and see this? That's kind of what he really needs to do. And as we get towards kind of the 7-minute mark, that's usually when you kind of have the latest timing for really getting in there with the overlord and trying to see what's going on. If you wait any longer than that, you're kind of asking for trouble a little bit.
And there we see the Roach Warren too from KangHo. So early Roaches one more time for our LGIM Zerg player.
Yeah, and I think too, honestly, like the fact that there aren't Hellions out on the map harassing right now is a big tip-off as to what's coming. And so the Overlord sees a reactored factory as well. And again, you know, seeing a reactored factory and not seeing any Hellions out on the map, you know, harassing right now, you're like, I don't think you really just made Widow Mines to stay super defensive. I think Lysira should have a really good idea of what's going on. Either way, he's going to have Roaches at home to defend this, so.
Absolutely. Well, here we go. Hellbats now on the map. 12 Roaches on the way already, in addition to putting down that Spine Crawler. So Ryung may find himself with a little bit of trouble. Well, no Spine Crawler yet.
This is going to be more than just defense here for KangHo.
Yeah.
We'll see how aggressive he wants to get with it, but he may put himself in a rough spot too if if Ryung drops the Hellbats behind him as he moves those Roaches across the map. This could get crazy, guys.
It could indeed. He's now moving out on the map with his force of Roaches, and they will pass that medevac, but he doesn't look like it sees.
I bet he caught it just on the very edge of the vision, but he may not have noticed it on the minimap. That's the big issue.
And the question is, will he care? More bunkers going up right now,
Oh,
but
yeah,
not
he
a
knows.
lot of defenses for Ryung as KangHo continues to push out. Waves of Zerglings now joining these Roaches.
He's going to blow this wide open with Banelings yet again. This looks familiar here. Here come the Roaches to soften things up a bit.
And there we go. The SCV's repairing and doing a pretty good job, but this bunker is still getting focused down, and there are 9 Banelings coming in behind it. He's trying to get the bunker first, though. Will he be able to get it? It looks like he
so
just
close.
can't quite do enough damage on one Baneling. Still can't get it. Finally pokes through right there, but he lost a lot in the process.
Yeah, that Widow Mine helping out a lot against the Banelings here. I can't believe Lysira dedicated himself so much and didn't wait for the Banelings.
But he did get that drop critically.
Well, the wall is wide open now. I mean, that's going to help quite a bit here. And the Hellbats, you know, are okay against Roaches, but if they don't have a lot of healing, they won't last quite as long.
And so the wall continues to be rebuilt, but more and more Banelings, well, only 5 right now being made.
Yeah, Ryung's
KangHo doesn't have a lot of gas.
Ryung needs to be very careful here. His Hellbats are going to be nice for soaking Baneling hits, but it's still going to be tough. Here we go.
And there they are coming in from behind. The Banelings trying to get in there. They get picked up. The Hellbats manage to live. And there we go, dropping him off in the back. Another good assault here from KangHo, but it looks like the defenses may just be able to hold from Ryung. He's trying to move past them now. Those bunkers proving too much to handle. And just going to delay some mining time in the mineral line instead.
Yeah, I mean, KangHo definitely not able to end the game right there. Brings it to kind of even supply. It looks like Ryung's going to feel a little bit more comfortable now at this point. And KangHo throwing down those Evo chambers, some Spore Crawlers. He wants to go into a longer game. So a lot of resources invested. And honestly, he didn't really even get a lot of SCVs out of that. So KangHo may be in a little bit of trouble here going into this early mid-game, but it's still anybody's at this point. This is pretty far from over.
Absolutely. Well, the Viking continues to go Overlord hunting right there. KangHo getting those spore crawlers up to prevent future harassment on all of his expansions. At the moment, you can see he's got a pretty healthy drone lead, 62 to 45.
Yeah.
So those Hellbat drops not doing a whole lot to KangHo, really.
No, honestly, he handled it pretty well, and there was also the other factor, too, that Ryung was kind of forced to bring a lot of those Hellbats home, too. He wasn't able to drop with as many as he wanted to.
So Collapsible Rock's going to be taken out on the ramp for Ryung while he builds up a command center. Here comes another drop, but it looks like KangHo will be ready for this one. The Widow Mines go down, and he's trying to get an angle on these drones, but it's just not going to work.
Yeah. Yep, it's being a little bit annoying, but KangHo handling it fairly well.
And able to see those Widow Mines too with the Spore Crawlers, so easy cleanup for KangHo. But Ryung's starting to pull ahead a little bit in terms of supply.
Yeah, he's a little bit behind still, but I mean, if he secures that third base, he may be able to get that sort of big production that we saw players like Alive manage to get. But KangHo, I almost called him Lasir again, definitely a little bit in the lead at this point. Yeah, it looks like the names on the top of the screen are reversed too. Yep. Yeah, you want to look at the supply in the upper right.
And also cutting off the images so I couldn't really see them. Sorry about that, guys.
Oh, the trials we go through.
That's right.
Nobody knows the Sora we see. All right, so KangHo going for that fourth now. He's got a good Roach army built up, but can't really be too aggressive with it right now and stay safe at the same time. So I think we're going to be in for a little bit of a passive few minutes, depending on how much drop play Ryung wants to throw at him.
I'm curious what the upgrades are right now, too. I'd love to go see that production tab so we get a better idea about where these players are in terms of their tech.
Yeah, well, I mean, we know the Zerglings are, or the Zerg ground army is just one carapace. I wonder if
probably
Roaches have
+1.
+1. Yeah, it's quite possible, yeah.
1-1 for the Roaches. Seems quite likely. Now, he has absorbed that Widowmine fire, and he's going for some more pressure. A single Roach trying to absorb as many missiles as possible. A Zerg hero.
Ryung even unburrowing a Widowmine, too, to make sure that didn't happen. Nice response there, and here comes Ryung. Oh! He's walking into a very big army. He's seen everything, though.
Baneling speed now completed right away during this push. So well timed out, and here come the Overlords as well to absorb Widowmine hits ostensibly. And there we go, some big hits. So many Banelings going down right there.
Yeah, but there's so many Banelings to begin with, too. I think Lazira might just have enough here.
And yes, he's cracked the front of the base, and he's grounding up Marines left and right now. He gets into the main, into the heart of the production facilities, but we're about even in terms of supply, and it looks like Ryung is going to be able to turn this one away.
You know, I was a bit surprised KangHo tried to go into the main. I think it would have been better to go to the natural, the third in this case, because as you can see, he kind of walked into a lot of death for his Roaches, and Ryung still holds, but every time this happens now, KangHo, you know, had been getting a little bit farther ahead, and even though he is slightly down in supply right now, he's maybe, well, he didn't try to take really a fourth out of that too, now just starting it. So, yeah, KangHo, I think, really expecting to finish the game with that push, and now that he didn't, he's opened up some new doors for Ryung.
Well, Ryung moving out a little more forward on the map, finally being able to clear out some of these creep tumors.
Yeah.
And good positioning right there to pick off some Zerglings from the safety of the Nook by the ramp.
That's right. The Nook by the ramp, also a great restaurant, this one too. Zira trying to push Ryung back, and he's just going to lift away. Yep, that one medevac not wanting to do its job, I guess. Okay, there we go.
Just watching a few of its friends die.
Yeah. And again, you know, this 3-base Terran production is just insane. All the Marauders, all the Marines handing out. He's getting the Drill Claws upgrade for the Widow Mines. And Ryung's moving into a very scary phase of the game for KangHo.
And there he is, the drop coming, sending some Zerglings there to stop it, but a lot of Zerglings dying first, and nothing really to prevent this medevac from picking it up and just heading out. A lot of Widow Mines now.
Yeah.
Outside of KangHo, setting up that hard point.
Well, here we go. Ryung, did he push a little bit too far ahead? KangHo trying to zone with those Roaches. guiding the Widow Mines right into the Marines, and Ryung lifts up what he can and moves away. In the meantime, oh, that fourth base in big trouble.
Yeah, a couple medevacs there dropping off those Marines, but the rest of the Marines in the center of the map will be cleaned up.
Yeah.
And he does save the fourth, at least for the moment.
I mean, we've seen it time and time again in this matchup right now. The fourth base for Zerg is so crucial. Ryung doing everything he can to deny that as he moves across with this pretty scary army now, 40 supply ahead.
Well, the lift continues. He's been bouncing back and forth. Finally, a Spore Crawler going down there to deal with it. Marines get split up against the Banelings pretty nicely, but the Force still gets destroyed by KangHo.
Yeah, and I mean, it looks like these fights are very even, but if you think about it, Ryung has this enormous production coming up behind it. He's doing drops at the same time. KangHo needs to win decisively and then strike back himself or hold that fourth.
And it looks like the fourth will go down.
He gets it. Wow.
So KangHo collapsing a little bit under the pressure right now that Ryung has been able to put on. Maybe investing too much in that second attempt at Ryung's natural.
Yeah. Well, Ryung continuing to try to push, and KangHo has yet to be able to dislodge him from the middle of the map. This might be the time. We'll see. Maybe he can, but there's a lot of Widow Mines there.
Indeed there are.
Oh, Ryung coming around the outside now with these Zerglings. Or, yeah, Ryung's got Zerglings now with Marines. How about that instead? GG, though, yeah, KangHo, it was too much. He knew that he was so far behind. There was really no way to keep up at this point. And that's just kind of the theme for TVZ, I feel, right now, is if Zerg can't get that fourth base, that is it.
All right, well, there we go. KangHo gets evened out by his opponent, Ryung tying it up 1-1. As we head into a Game 3, the loser of this match will be out of the WCS World Final.
Yeah, KangHo obviously a little bit disappointed about that loss, as you can see on the screen. Needs to pick it up again for game number 3. Maybe it's because he's wearing the headphones that are the Axiom team colors. Maybe it's poisoning his mind.
Well, perhaps he's a turncoat, a traitor in blue.
Not just yet. So we will see if Lasir is able to take down Ryung or not. The third map, we're not quite sure what it's going to be because we don't have that in front of us. This is not the group we really, yeah, we're kind of like jumping in here, you know, halfway through because our other group ended a little bit sooner. Again, if you want to watch Day 9 and Apollo, they're on the other OGN stream, and they have been with this group since the very beginning.
Yeah, so I'm sure they have a little bit more insight than we do.
Having all the options, yeah, all the knowledge. So let's take a look at Group A. Here's how it all shook out.
That's right. Well, first up, you know, we did have TLO 2-1 over Stefano, Sulky 2-0 over Alive, then Sulky advancing with a 2-0 over TLO, Stefano losing to Alive 0-2, and then Alive taking out TLO 2-0 as well. So Alive and Sulky will advance to the quarterfinals.
Yeah, Stefano going down pretty early. TLO making a good run of it, but just not quite able to make it through to the round of 8 to the matches tomorrow. Either way, a pretty intense group.
Indeed.
Yeah, Sulky dominating as always, but beyond that, it was a toss-up. It was really anybody's game until the very end.
Well, and then in Group B so far, what we've seen is we've seen MVP up 2-1 on Ryung, and actually here's Group C. We are going to move into this one next. This will be cast by Day 9 and Apollo here on the main stream.
Yep, that's right. We're swapping spots. We're going to be on the couch for the next group.
So that group will be Hero versus 4GG and SOS versus Symbol, while Doa and I will be doing Group D.
Yep, that's right.
And Group D will be Innovation, Revival, Damaga, and Roro.
That's right, the final four in Hope, and Damaga having to go up against an extremely difficult group for him. We'll see if he can handle that. That is going to be pretty crazy, man. It's like you're going up against Innovation. You're going up against Roro. These are, you know, a GSO winner, a GSO finalist, you know, and then Revival, who's been a very good Zerg for a very long time, too. It's going to be intimidating, but Damaga's got a way of playing that I feel like the Korean players just aren't used to as much. So that might help him out. We'll be back with more a little bit later, guys.
이름은 정종현이라고 하고요. 아이디는 LGIM MVP를 사용하고 있고 종족은 테란이에요. 유럽 대표 1등으로 진출했어요. 가고 싶었던 대회이기 때문에 진출하게 돼서 너무 기쁘고 이렇게 힘들게 온 만큼 꼭 좋은 성적 냈으면 좋겠어요. 라이벌이라고 생각하는 선수는 딱히 없고 딱 한 명을 꼽긴 어려울 것 같아요. 전 선수가 다 어려운 상대인 것 같아요. 나는 대한민국의 프로게이머 정종현이다.
My name is Ilya Satori, also known as Stefano. I'm playing Zerg and I did top 2 at WCS Europe. I enjoy the city. It's quite different from what we have in Europe, but at some points you get kind of bored of it because it's always very repetitive. But right now I only stayed for 3 days, so it was okay. I think my rival would be MVP most likely because he beat me last time and I need to get revenge. Last time it was kind of bad result for me. He beat me 4-1 after me winning the first map and I'm kind of disappointed by that. So I do want to meet him again and show I can do better. I am kind of scared to be honest because right now in the finals there's quite a lot of Zergs and my worst matchup is like a ZVZ. So not very confident about that. And in my group we are 3 Zergs for 1 Terran, so it's not the best for me. But I think if I go past the groups I can do very well because I'm quite good against Terran and Protoss right now. My name is Ilya Satori and I'm French programmer.
네, 제 이름은 김동원이고요. 아이디는 엑시엄 0이라는 아이디를 쓰고 있고 북미 리그에서 4강 안에 들어서 이렇게 하게 됐습니다. 처음에 대회를 했을 때 이렇게 시즌 파이널에 오고 싶다는 생각을 했는데 오게 돼서 굉장히 기쁘고요. 남들보다 좋은 기회를 잡은 만큼 열심히 해서 좋은 성적 내고 싶어요. 근데 이번 대회에서 라이벌이라고 생각하는 선수는 양준식 선수가 될 것 같고요. 왜냐하면 같은 팀이기 때문에 스타일도 많이 알고 그래서 제일 무섭고 그런 것 같습니다. 나는 대한민국의 프로게이머 김동원이다.
안녕하세요. LGIM 소속의 황강호라고 합니다. 종족은 저그이고요. 이번에 한국 예선 5주기로 순위 결정전에 나오게 됐습니다. 어렵게 올라온 만큼 각오가 남다르고 그리고 열심히 해서 좋은 결과 있었으면 좋겠습니다. 라이벌이라고 생각하는 선수는 없고 그 이유는 제가 그 선수를 견제하면 제 자신이 밀리고 들어간다 생각하기 때문에 저는 딱히 그런 생각을 가지고 있지 않고 제 자신과의 싸움이라고 생각하고 노력할 생각입니다. 나는 대한민국의 프로게이머 황가보다